ChatGPT. Relate ACIM to the movie Religulous. Religulous through the lens of A Course in Miracles. AM. Religulous is a provocative exploration of religion, belief systems, certainty, doubt, faith, dogma, and humanity's search for meaning. Through the lens of A Course in Miracles, AM, it becomes an examination of the difference between spiritual experience and conceptual belief. At its heart, the documentary asks, what happens when deeply held beliefs are questioned? ACIM answers, every belief that is not true must eventually be questioned. Beliefs are not truth. One of ACIM's central teachings is that truth does not require belief. Truth simply is. Beliefs, by contrast, can be true or false. The documentary spends much of its time examining beliefs, religious doctrines, theological assumptions, historical claims, cultural traditions. ACIM invites a similar inquiry. Is this something I know or merely something I believe? The ego loves concepts. The ego seeks certainty through concepts, labels, definitions, systems of thought. Religious doctrines can become part of the ego's identity structure when they are used to reinforce separation, superiority, or fear. ACIM consistently points beyond concepts toward direct experience. The documentary repeatedly exposes how attached people can become to ideas, questioning as a spiritual tool. Many people fear questioning because they assume questioning destroys faith. ACIM teaches the opposite. Beliefs must be questioned if truth is to be recognized. The documentary's interviews often place cherished assumptions under scrutiny. This mirrors ACIM's process of undoing. Religion versus spirituality. One of the strongest ACIM themes reflected in the film is the distinction between organized belief and direct spiritual experience. ACIM is not primarily concerned with theology. It is concerned with awakening. The documentary repeatedly highlights the gap that can exist between doctrine and lived experience. The fear beneath certainty. Many rigid beliefs are rooted in fear. Fear of death, fear of uncertainty, fear of meaninglessness, fear of punishment. ACIM teaches that fear underlies the ego thought system. The movie repeatedly reveals how strongly people defend beliefs that appear to protect them from fear. Idols and symbols. ACIM teaches that forms are symbols. Religious institutions, sacred objects, rituals, teachings. All forms are symbols that can either point toward truth or become substitutes for it. The documentary repeatedly explores this territory. Direct experience. Throughout ACIM, direct experience is valued above secondhand belief. The Holy Spirit is described as a living experience rather than a theological concept. The documentary implicitly asks, what do you actually know? This question aligns closely with ACIM's emphasis on experience over dogma. Judgment and compassion. One challenge viewers may encounter is the temptation to judge those whose beliefs are being questioned. ACIM reminds us that every mind is seeking love, safety, and meaning. The real lesson is not whether others are right or wrong. The lesson is learning to look beyond form toward the shared human longing beneath every belief system. The undoing of false certainty. ACIM often dismantles the mind's certainty before revealing deeper peace. The documentary performs a similar function. It unsettles assumptions, questions conclusions, exposes contradictions. This can feel uncomfortable, but discomfort often accompanies genuine inquiry. The central reflection, the ego watches Religulous and asks, which belief system is correct? Who is right? Who is wrong? The Holy Spirit watches Religulous and asks, am I willing to release every belief that stands between me and truth? Viewed through ACIM, the documentary becomes less about religion itself and more about the mind's attachment to concepts. The deepest message may be, the ego seeks certainty through beliefs, doctrines, and intellectual conclusions. The Holy Spirit gently leads beyond concepts into direct experience. Truth does not depend upon defending an idea. Awakening begins when we become willing to question everything that can be questioned and discover the peace that remains beyond all belief systems. Go to mwge.org to find some movie clips and a brief write-up by David Hoffmeister.